Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Mason Rudolph expected to start. Mike Tomlin doesn't rule out Kenny Pickett's return. Following another poor showing from quarterback Mitch Trubisky that Saturday against the Indianapolis Colts, the Pittsburgh Steelers are making a change at quarterback. Head coach Mike Tomlin announced Monday during his weekly press conference ahead of the Week 16 matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals at Acrisure Stadium that backup quarterback Mason Rudolph will start. "As I stand here today, Mason Rudolph is the guy with the ball," Tomlin said regarding a change at quarterback following a third straight loss, according to video via the Steelers' YouTube page. However, Tomlin did not rule out second-year quarterback Kenny Pickett returning from an ankle injury he suffered 3 weeks ago against the Arizona Cardinals, leading to an ankle procedure to try and speed up the recovery process. Rudolph will become the third starting quarterback of the season for the Steelers if Pickett, whom Tomlin labeled as questionable for Saturday, is unable to get back into the lineup. "Rudolph, man, he's been a part of our program. He knows us, we know him. He's tough-minded. He's got a lot of confidence in himself," Tomlin added regarding the decision to turn to Rudolph. "He's a competitor, and so those are some of the things that are really attractive about giving him an opportunity." The decision to make the change from Trubisky to Rudolph came after the Steelers pulled Trubisky Saturday following a second interception in the loss to the Colts. It was the third interception in the last 2 games for Trubisky, who had looked rather poor as the starter in recent weeks. When it comes to Rudolph, Tomlin called the veteran quarterback a calculated risk-taker, which is something that the 7-7 Steelers need moving forward, something they weren't getting from Trubisky as he was turning the football over. "He's good under tough circumstances. He's a competitor. He's a calculated risk-taker," Tomlin said regarding Rudolph. "I believe that mentality is helpful to us under these circumstances." Rudolph, like Trubisky, is an experienced starter, having started 10 games for the Steelers in his career. He's 5-4-1 as a starter and last started in 2021 against the Detroit Lions at home in a 16-16 tie. Deontay Johnson is right, the defense is leaking. An argument can very easily be made that it was not Deontay Johnson's place to call out the Pittsburgh Steelers' leaking defense as his first reaction to the question of what is going wrong. After all, the offense hasn't scored more than 18 points in the past 5 games and has only scored more than 20 points all of 3 times this year. But the thing is, he's not wrong. Here's the problem: the Steelers have no margin for error. Everybody knows that. And everybody knew that the pressure would be on the defense. It has bent quite a bit all season but hadn't been breaking. They quite possibly may be broken now. They've given up 3 offensive touchdowns in 3 consecutive games and 75 points in total. They had not done that in over a year and a half, between weeks 3 and 5 of the 2022 season. Before that, it hadn't happened since the 2020 season. While it tends to happen once in most years, the thing is, the Steelers used to have an offense capable of winning those games. They have lost their last 14 games when giving up 3+ touchdowns. The last victory being a 29-27 win over the Chicago Bears in November 2021. Ben Roethlisberger threw 2 touchdown passes to Pat Freiermuth and Najee Harris ran for another while Chris Boswell hit on a trio of field goals. But they to win those games. While the record is never going to be great when you give up 3 or more touchdowns, they were a respectable 15-17-1 during the 2014-2018 seasons. They won 3 such games in a row in 2018, though they were 3-5-1 overall under those circumstances that year. But that was a team that could give up 3+ touchdowns on a regular basis and still finish the season 9-6-1. They ranked 16th in scoring defense that year. This year, they've begun to slide, currently down to 8th after their recent struggles. Head coach Mike Tomlin has had a rather annoying tendency this year to spare the offense from a great deal of criticism, but the fact is the past 3 games, the defense has not gotten the job done. There is no excuse for allowing teams to score 20+ points under these circumstances. The New England Patriots likewise had one drive that spanned just 11 yards to find the end zone following a turnover, And, again, that's on the quick change defense for not holding them to a field goal. But the other 2 touchdown drives spanned 75 and 59 yards. The Cardinals scored on drives of 21 and 33 yards, but also a 99-yard drive, and that's the one that got them going. That's 5 touchdowns allowed on drives of 59-plus yards in the past 3 games. That's a problem. So are the numerous drives that have begun in Steelers territory, and that's a shared problem. But that doesn't stop the fact that the defense is leaking. And they can't win another game this year if they don't fix that. Not when they can't put up 20 points. Proposed trade sends the Steelers a playmaker. Dolphins 18 TD. The Steelers could be in the market for a new running back this offseason. The veteran is coming off a career year, already recording 18 total touchdowns with 4 games remaining this season. Tansy ponders whether Miami would be willing to move Mostert for a day 2 or day 3 pick. The Dolphins also have Devon Achane, who could get more touches without Mostert. Raheem Mostert is an older but less expensive option to consider in the running back market, Tansy detailed in a December 13, 2023 article titled Hypothetical Trades the Cowboys Should Consider in the 2024 NFL Offseason. The Miami Dolphins may be willing to make Devon Achane their number 1 running back this offseason, and that could limit the 31-year-old Mostert's rushing. Mostert showed throughout the season that he has not lost a step, despite his age. The Cowboys could send a day 2 or 3 draft pick to Miami for Mostert, who is scheduled to make just $2.3 million next season, per Spotrac. Tansy continues. Dallas could replicate exactly what Miami is doing this season with Mostert and Achane. The Cowboys could draft a running back late in the round and hope he develops under Mostert as they look to find their stars of the future. There are 2 ways to look at Mostert's future in Miami. After an early career marred by injuries, Mostert enjoyed 2 consecutive seasons of excellent health. There may be some idea of selling dearly to the Dolphins management. However, would a mid-round pick be worth it for Miami to miss out on Mostert's production? Mostert also has a team-friendly 2-year contract worth $5.6 million. The running back will have a $3.3 million cap hit in 2024, more than reasonable given his level of production. Heading into Week 15, Mostert has 183 carries for 924 rushing yards and 16 touchdowns. Mostert also had 22 receptions for 170 yards and 2 TDs through the air. It's easy to see why this type of deal would be attractive to the Cowboys. Dallas would land one of the best running backs in the NFL with a $3.3 million cap hit in 2024. It still seems unlikely that the Dolphins would want to trade one of their top offensive producers. And you fan, what do you think of the Raheem Mostert situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.